my media roll situation has just gotten out of hand. I mean, look, I got a roll that's tipped over here. I got stuff, it's a disorganized array. Over here, I have the same situation with rolls of laminate. And it's Saturday, I'm gonna take the day to address it. You could buy racks for relatively cheap. I was looking at Buffalo racking systems. They look really good. They're steel, they hang on the wall. They're not crazy expensive. But those rack systems don't even come with the poles. And so that's an added expense that you gotta think about. And I need it now. So it's Saturday, I have time to do it. I'm going to build the world's simplest racking system. It's not gonna be rocket science. I'm not gonna overbuild it. I do have the luxury of a brick wall to attach to, but I'm not just gonna hang this on the wall. Just because of the weight of all this stuff, I'm gonna build it so that the weight is also supported by the floor. So essentially, I got these 1x8s here that I got at Lowe's. These are just 17 bucks, white pine board. And I am going to lean it against the wall and make some cuts. And I got these, let's see, angle brackets that I'm gonna put on these to keep them from swaying. 5-inch angle brackets. I'm gonna put them in the floor. I'm gonna put them up above, cut out some notches and call it a day. So we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to make it super simple. Hopefully it works. All right, so I've made a couple of cuts. Like I said, I want this to go to the floor. I want it to sit flush against the wall, but also flush against the floor. I don't want it to stick out too much. So I'm pretty pleased with the way that's looking. So I'm gonna use this as my template and cut out the rest. All right, this roll of mesh banner is about the biggest roll I got. So I mean, it's 8 inches. So just to have a little clearance for it, maybe having 10, and really going from the roll to the top of the core right there is really just like 6 inches or so, 5.5 inches. So because of that right there, I'm trying to maximize out what I'm doing here. So for that first bottom one, I made it go to the 7-inch mark. And then from there, I went up 10 inches. Then I went up 9 inches. Now I've gone up 8, and then I think I'm just gonna take it 8 inches all the way up. I might even go a little bit tighter. I might progressively get smaller as I go, just so I can fit as many rolls as possible, and I can put the rolls that are diminishing towards the top. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how many I can get fit on here. All right, it's gonna be a 12 rack system. I got a mark at the bottom here at 7 inches, 17, 26, 34, 42, 49, 56, 62, 68, 73, 78, and 83. So it progressively gets smaller as you go to the top. I think it's gonna work out great. So we have the 5-foot sections of 3/4 inch conduit, electrical conduit. And all I have is a 1-inch drill bit. And it's a tight fit. I mean, it's bigger, but not by much. But it's all I have on me right now, so I'm gonna go and drill one hole and see how it goes. It actually fits without too much grief here, so I think I'm just gonna roll with that. I'm gonna cut some slots for setting it in there, and we'll go from there. Okay, I marked each board where I'm gonna drill the hole, but now that I have my first piece totally cut out, I'll use this as my template for marking my jigsaw marks. Okay, I just leaned this up and put these on, just trying to figure out spacing issues. But after doing this, I mean, you really feel the weight kind of going into the ground more. And so rather than putting my little angle irons on these as individual boards. I think I'm gonna make this a unit. I'm gonna put a piece of board going across there and a piece of board going across the top. That way I can just anchor it into the brick at the top with minimal anchors, because if I ever need to move this, it'll make it so much easier. So change of plans, but so far, so good. All right, guys, I am pretty stoked with the way this is looking. I put just a 2x4 above and one on the bottom. And I figure with this one, it's flat against the wall, so I can anchor it with some concrete screws, and tap cons, but I need some that are longer than this right here. So I'm gonna go to the store to get some, but it's just great that the weight really gets distributed to the ground. So I'm loving the way that this turned out. It's very simple and it's almost done. I am done with rack number 1. Rack number 2 is all the pieces are cut and everything. All I have to do is put it together. But I did buy all of the 5-foot conduit poles that Lowe's had today. So even if I do get the next one done, I don't have enough poles to hang my media. I could buy the 10-foot poles and cut them in half. I'll probably end up doing that tomorrow. But I just wanted to show you all this. It works, it looks great. Let me show you a little closer. The weight of this is firmly in the ground, which I love about this particular design. I mean, if you really like pull down on this, it's in the ground. So good. I do have the 2x4 going across back there to connect the 2 in the bottom. I got the 2x4 going across at the top. Plus, I've put some concrete anchors up there to keep it against the wall. But this thing is not going anywhere, and it's also not so hardly attached to the wall that it would be really hard to move. This would be super, super easy to move. So I no longer have a sea of laminate rolls lying everywhere over here. Plus, over on this side, because it's laminate, some of them are just skinny rolls of optically clear laminate that we use for perf. And we usually print perf in gigantic rolls, and so we always have smaller rolls left over. But when we do have rolls of print that haven't been laminated yet, rather than setting them on a table where they can get scuffed, we're gonna have space over here so that we could hang the media and keep it free from damage. So we're excited about, I am super stoked about keeping our shop so much more organized and keeping our laminate and our media from getting damaged. All right, laminate roll is done. Media roll is done as well, although I do need more poles. I'm gonna go back to Lowe's tomorrow. If I have to buy the 10-footers and cut them in half, I will. I do have a circular saw blade that's got the metal cutting blade on it, so I can do that, but carrying 10-foot poles around Lowe's kind of sucks, but that's okay. I can handle it. If it gets this forest of media off the floor and on the wall, it will be worth it. Thank you for tuning into this video on my media roll rack systems made out of wood. It's working really good. Like, look at that. It looks beautiful. It's very organized, and honestly, I don't think it's one of those things where I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have just bought the racking online. I mean, it's gonna work. Each board was $17. I mean, cost-wise, you cannot beat that. It did cost me a Saturday, but other than that, good to go, y'all. This is a fun project. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button, throw some comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.